Hello, good afternoon from Collegepond and Converge. Jimit Sangvi over here. If you can hear my voice and can see the PPT, can you please type a yes in the chat box? Okay, great. Let's get started. First of all, thank you for being with us on a Sunday afternoon. Let's hope we can target and address all the questions that you might have. The agenda is in front of you. Let's get going. Now, MBA versus MS is a question I think almost every student has. Now, keep in mind that with a bachelor's degree, right, a lot of you might be thinking, hey, a bachelor's degree is not sufficient. I need a master's degree to upskill myself. I mean, every other person in the world has a master's degree today. So having only a bachelor's degree, you might think that, you are a little bit undervalued. So I would say that 95% people will end up getting a master's degree. It could be MS or MTech or MBA or whatever it could be. So this might be the last decision of your life. So you want to make sure it's an informed decision and you think, evaluate, talk to people, and then come to the right conclusion for you. Right? Now, MS degrees are usually supposed to be technical degrees. I want to do masters in physiotherapy, architecture, mechanical engineering, computer science, data science, etc. And MBA is supposed to be very management oriented. Okay. Usually people with work experience go for MBA. You also have executive MBA for people with 10 plus years of experience who are looking to do a lateral shift at a higher trajectory, right? So we need to figure out what fits into your personal goals. What would be the outcomes if you choose A versus B? And what is the right fit for you? So let's try to figure out how do we go about solving this conundrum. Let's first think from an Indian point of view before we think from a global point of view. Okay. Now, if you look at India, everyone has a fascination of IITs and IIMs, engineers and MBAs, right? Is what people think is where the jobs are, right? Now, let's understand why is the fascination for MBA more in India as compared to masters. Okay. The first reason being, if you look at the top institutes, you look at the ISBs, IIMs, most of them have an MBA degree. So if IIMs do not have a master's in finance, master's in HR, master's in marketing, if they had that, then people would have definitely taken it up. Unfortunately, because they don't have that and people want to go to top schools, it's by default that, hey, I have to do an MBA because MBA will get me into a good school and a good job. So one of the reasons behind that is the top universities do not have a master's program. Okay. And because of the same logic, people who go to IIMs and ISBs make more money. So people think that MBA will lead to more salaries, higher salaries. Okay. Lastly, a lot of Indians think that, hey, I want to get done with education and start working. Okay, I want to get married soon. A lot of parents have these ideas. Hey, you need to settle down early if you are a girl child. Okay. And in India, a lot of colleges allow you to do MBA immediately after graduation, after your bachelor's degree. While this is definitely changing, the IIMs and the ISBs definitely need work experience now going forward. But there are a lot of colleges where you can go as a fresher. So because of these reasons, MBA has always been in demand and will continue to be in demand from an Indian point of view, unless the top universities start with master's program. Now, if IIM start with masters in finance, masters in marketing, and if you are getting equal salaries through masters in marketing and an MBA, then people will definitely start taking that up. Okay. So then the equation might change. So it might take some time till the top universities open these programs. But for the near few years, at least 2 to 3 years, if you want to study in India, then MBA makes more sense if you want to go to the top university, right? If you're compromising and going to a tier 3, tier 2 university, then MS MBA will not make that much of a difference. Okay, let's now start talking from a global point of view. Okay, what are the kind of careers that you get after an MBA degree? Okay, after you do a master's, now in master's, we have broken up master's into technical programs and management oriented programs, right? So, technical programs are people, hey, I have done pharmacy, I want to do master's in pharmacy. I have done architecture, I want to do master's in architecture, engineer going into engineering field. Someone wants to do masters in physics, masters in real estate, right? Data science, etc. Okay. And management oriented programs. So you will see a lot of overlap in kind of careers after MBA and after MS, right? So that will also depend on how much work experience you have. Now, if you are understand this, MBA means you the word M stands for management, right? I mean, masters in business administration. You're looking at administration. You have to manage people, right? So you definitely need work experience. If you are a fresher doing MBA and you are a fresher doing MS, there is a very high possibility you might get the same kind of job. However, if you have work experience, then for an MBA, you could end up positioning yourself as, let's say you want to do HR. You could do masters in HR and you could join as a HR fresher, HR executive. However, if you have a couple of years of experience and then you do MBA with an HR specialization, you can become an HR manager, right? To become a manager, keep in mind you need work experience. Imagine I want to recruit a manager. I have a team of 20 people, everyone has work experience, and I put a fresher out of college as their manager. Those 20 people will think I have gone crazy and they will not be comfortable reporting to someone who they think is inferior to them, right? So you need work experience to be recruited as a manager level, right? Similarly, if you are a fresher, you could get a marketing executive job or a marketing job. I mean, you could end up with the same job. Keep in mind, considering the amount of work experience you have. Okay, so there will be overlaps. You could be a product manager, project manager after masters. Also, there are programs in masters in project management, product management, etc. So you can end up taking a lot of masters program which are related to management. And one of the reasons why people do take it abroad, let me explain this to you. Let's say you want to do masters in marketing. Okay. Now, marketing itself is a broad field. You can do marketing analytics, marketing and communication, digital media marketing, so on and so forth, right? Now, if you do MBA, the curriculum of MBA is such that they try to make you a jack of all. So you will be choosing your core subjects would be spread across. You will be doing marketing, finance, HR, operations, strategy, leadership, and then maybe you specialize towards the end of your MBA degree. Or you could do a general MBA, right? A lot of people abroad think, hey, if I do MBA, I will be studying finance, HR. I don't want to study those things. Let me just study marketing and be good in what I want to do. So they end up doing masters in marketing. Okay. In fact, I have a lot of students who done MBA from India, but unfortunately from a tier 2 or a tier 3 university. And then when they hit the glass ceiling after 2-3 years, they say, now I want to go abroad and do a master's in a specialized field like marketing, finance, HR, because now I know what I want to study and what area I want to go into. Okay. So we do have a lot of people who do MBA from India and then do masters in a particular area, right? So if you're sure of what you want to do, MS can be considered. And abroad, a lot of people do that because you have master's programs in the top universities. If you look at the universities like, say, MIT, Stanford, you can do a master's in finance. You're doing a finance in Berkeley, you're doing marketing in Columbia. Those names will set up jobs for you. So it's not necessary that you need an MBA degree to get a job, because the master's degree from a top university will let you to a good interviews opportunities with respect to companies and a good job. Okay, so that's about a kind of career options you get after MBA or MS, and there will be an overlap if the work experience is not there. Okay. uh, In case you want to learn more about the careers for masters, okay, on the Converge app, you can read about the trending careers, what are the salaries, okay, what are the skills required, specializations. You can download the Converge app on the App Store, Play Store, and you can explore and play around. This feature is open to everyone. You can just download it and use it. So in case you want to learn more about master's program other than MBA, you can do that. Okay. Let's talk about the choice of university, right? Now, a lot of people say, I want to go to an IIMs, ISBs when you talk of India. So that's why, they end up going to the college and not just the degree. In fact, I've been talking of MBA in IIMs. Let me correct myself. IIMs do not give an MBA degree. They give you a postgraduate diploma in management. It's a diploma, PGDM. It is not an MBA degree. But the name of IIM is so huge that people say IIM say MBA kiya, I'm IIM MBA, when it's actually a postgraduate diploma in management. It doesn't matter. The name of IIM is setting up the interview calls and jobs for you, right? So what happens is, a lot of times people associate themselves with a university. Hey, I want to go to Harvard. Now, Harvard doesn't have marketing, but it has MBA. Okay, I'll do MBA. Okay, I want to go to Stanford. Stanford doesn't have MBA, it has finance. Okay, I'll do finance. So a lot of time people do that because they want a better university which will set up an opportunity for them. Okay. Secondly, a lot of masters in management programs are a part of business schools. And in business schools, you have some entrepreneurship clubs, you have cohorts where you might have what's the right word to use? The incubators out there in the universities, which will help you develop a startup ecosystem. Just like IITs in India have incubators where you can think of ideas and start your own company. A lot of universities abroad in their business school have entrepreneurship clubs, okay, and incubators where you can think of ideas to start a company, right? So that's why sometimes people are okay with masters in a business school, because they want to get those opportunities. Okay. Now, secondly, you also need to understand that MBA is more competitive than MS. See, in MBA, they focus a lot on your GMAT score and work experience. In MS, if your GRE GMAT score is not that great, but your SOPs are great, you applied early, you can still get into a top school. So MBAs in top schools, you want to do an MBA from Harvard, Wharton, MIT, it's usually very expensive. So, and it's very competitive. So sometimes people opt for MS because they get into a better university easily compared to an MBA. In the chat box, we have posted the link for the Converge app. You can download it using that link as well. Now, let's start going into the nitty-gritties and the points of differences between MBA and MS. Okay. So, focused areas. What is the curriculum going to be like? So, understand MBA is to acquire business and management skills. There is no doubt about it. That's what people want to do. I want to become a manager. I want to learn the business side of things. In MS, it can be to learn technical skills, or it could be an pathway to do a PhD later on. I want to become a professor, do research, thesis, etc. Or you look at management level programs, but at the entry level. Okay, depending on what you want to do your master's in. The duration of the program is 1 to 2 years. It's it's more dependent on the country and the college. So for example, in UK, most programs are 1-year programs. In Australia, most programs, or Netherlands, most programs are 2-year programs. In USA, it could be 1 year, 1.5 years, or 2 years, depending on the college and the course. So that's not a major differentiating factor over here. The scope we already spoke about, depending on the area you want to go in. Again, what electives you choose during your master's degree or your MBA degree can also lead you to the kind of job you want, right? So let's say you're doing an MBA and you take more of finance related electives rather than marketing or HR, then there's a very high chance that you would be working with a bank, an investment bank, or an insurance company, etc. Right? So depending on the electives you end up choosing, you can decide what kind of jobs you want to go in the future. Okay, let's talk about the eligibility criteria. Okay, just a second. Now, so for both of them, a bachelor's degree is compulsory. You will need the TOEFL or the IELTS exam, one of the two. And you will need your statement of purpose, your letters of recommendation, and resume. So these things are common. For MBA in top schools, usually interviews are compulsory. For master's programs, they may or may not happen. For MBA top schools, interview is a part of your application. Okay. And another major difference is usually people give the GMAT for MBA and they give the GRE for the master's exam, master's programs. While they can be interchanged, you can give GRE for MBA and GMAT for masters. It's usually just a preferred way out that you give GMAT for MBA and GRE for masters. Work experience that I spoke about, right? For masters, it's not required, it's optional, it's not compulsory. There are times when people do it to, further their skill set or test some waters before they go for their masters. For MBA, it is a requirement, especially for the top universities. A lot of people do argue that there are colleges which are accepting MBA without work experience. Should we go for it? Our answer would be a definite no. To give you an analogy, let's say you are a 21-year-old in India, you are legally eligible to get married, right? But does that mean, is it the right time for you? Maybe not. You are not that mature enough, you're not settled down, you're not earning, whatever it could be. So just because at 21 you are legally eligible to get married doesn't mean it is the right thing for you, right? Get some more exposure, experience, get some maturity before you get married, right? The same analogy applies here. Just because you are eligible for an MBA without work experience doesn't mean you should do it. It might not be the right fit for you. Okay. Masters, there are too many options out there. MBA, there is no option. You just do an MBA. Some universities have MBA with supply chain, MBA with IT, MBA with analytics. A lot of these programs are coming in, right? The first year will be generic MBA, and maybe in the second year you can specialize. But the options for MS are much more than an option for an MBA. The biggest difference between masters and MBA, what we have seen, is the cost factor. If the cost for masters is X, the cost for an MBA is 2X. Usually it is double the cost. Also, the number of scholarships that you get for a master's program are much more than the scholarships you get for an MBA program. So what happens is, while the cost is more, if you get a scholarship in masters, the cost can still even go down further. So that further amplifies the cost difference between masters and MBA. Right? So that is why one of the main reasons that, hey, if you are spending double the money for an MBA, you either go to a top school or you don't do an MBA. Right? That's what usually the norm is, because you are spending double the money. You should make sure it's value for money and not go to a tier 2, tier 3 university. Right? The different specializations that are there for MBA, we are here in front of you. And for masters will again depend on the course you end up going for, right? Even if you choose marketing, there are different specializations in marketing. You choose pharmacy, even within pharmacy, you will find drug regulatory, pharmacology, toxicology, immunology, pharmaceutics. You go for computer science, there is artificial intelligence, data science, networking, operating systems, mobile computing, right? So on and so forth. So, there will be more popular specializations within a master's program compared to an MBA. Lastly, the top countries that people prefer for MBA and MS are listed down. Having said that, keep in mind that it's usually the college also that's equally important. There are times when people apply to multiple countries. Hey, so I want to do an MBA in USA, I'll apply to Wharton, Columbia, Harvard. In UK, I'll apply to maybe Oxford, Cambridge, LSE, LBS. In France, I'll apply to INSEAD. Australia, I'll apply to University of Melbourne. So there are times when people, what they do is mix and match and just apply to the top universities of various countries, let the admits come out, and then decide where they want to go further. Right. So just like you want to go to India, you want to, be in the IIMs or the ISBs because you know that getting a job from there becomes very easy. So that's the same logic applies no matter what country you go to. The idea is to target the top colleges that will set up the interview calls for you. Right? The top universities of the world across different, domains are just listed down. Again, this is just the tip of the iceberg. The list can go on and on. Again, keep in mind that depending on the specialization, also the list might vary, right? So let's say you want to do computer science. Now, within computer science, some colleges are good for data science, some colleges are good for AI, some colleges are good for security. Even for MBA, some are more focused on consulting, some are more focused on management, more on finance. So, depending on your area of specialization, you want to choose your universities accordingly. Okay. Now, how do you decide between an MS or an MBA? Okay. We spoke about the major differentiating parameters and factors. Okay. Both will give you a good salary, good job. Okay. But understand when you're doing an MBA, there is a cost of opportunity. Let us understand what that is. So for MBA, you are a working professional, right? Like we said, you need work experience. You're making money. Let's say you're making 20 lakh rupees a year, hypothetically, right? And you're going for a 2-year MBA program. So when you're going for a 2-year MBA program, you will quit your job and start your MBA. So when you quit your job, you have stopped earning those 20 lakh rupees a year. So for a 2-year program, you are not going to earn 40 lakh rupees. And let us say that your program is of 40 lakh rupees. So that means you stopped earning 40 lakh rupees and you are going to spend 40 lakh rupees. So your cost of opportunity is 80 lakh rupees. Okay. So you also need to start thinking what will be the break even period be? Will I break even after I graduate? Will I be able to recover that in the next 5 years? If the answer is no, then it's not a good return on investment. Okay, so for a master's degree, the ROI is always better because in the cost of opportunity, if you are a fresher out of college and you're not earning right now, then that factor gets eliminated from your cost of opportunity. Okay, so if your salaries are very high, then the cost of opportunity is very high. So that's why you only want to end up going to a top school so to justify the return on investment. Next is the career goals that you are looking at, right? If you are a fresh out of college and you don't want to wait for a couple of years, but you want to go abroad immediately, then yes, an MS degree is better than an MBA degree. Okay. However, if you have a lot of work experience, hey, I've been working since 10 years in the field of advertisement, but now I want to go into HR to make that sudden lateral shift. Maybe an MBA might be a right fit for you because you can do an MBA and then from MBA get into HR companies. Okay. Hey, I want to expand my family business, right? Now you need to start thinking what part of your family business do you want to expand? Do you want to be on the technical side of things or you are going to be the sole person handling everything from accounts, management, marketing, HR, etc.? Then maybe an MBA might be right for you if you want to be the jack of all to understand how to run the different facets of the family business. Or you could say, I have a textile industry, let me focus on the technical side. You do masters in textile, and then you recruit accountants, marketing executives, and HRs to handle those respective departments, right? So it depends on what area of your family business you want to grow and expand. If you're looking to more from a business development and networking point of view, then yes, MBA makes more sense. When you talk of a career switch, hey, what kind of a career switch are you looking at, right? Again, hey, I am doing pharmacy, but I want to go into finance. You can do it through MBA in finance also. You can do it through masters in finance also. So then we need to start brainstorming on how much work experience you have, when do you want to make a switch, okay, how much salary you are up ready for, how much money are you ready to invest. If the budget is a concern, then maybe a lot of people end up doing an MS because they don't want to spend double the money. So then we need to start brainstorming on all these parameters and then decide what is the right degree for you. Like I said, there's no right answer. This is something that we need to brainstorm with a student one on one. Let's talk about the application process. So how does, whether you do an MS or an MBA, there are different pockets of the application process. You choose your course, you choose your colleges. You need to give exams, right? Your GRE, GMAT, TOEFL, IELTS. Your exam scores are bad, then either you change your universities or you retake the exam, right? Sometimes people change the country also. Hey, you know what? Ireland does not need GRE, GMAT. My GRE, GMAT scores are very bad. Let me apply to Ireland because I want a top school without GRE, GMAT. Then you'll need your essays, your statement of purpose, letters of recommendation, resume. You will be filling out your forms and applying. You will apply for scholarships. There will be university interviews. Once you are admitted, then you start your financial planning, bank statements, affidavits, loan, forex, currency, insurance, etc., where we work with you at the parents. We work with you on your visa process, visa documentation, interviews, visa essays, depending on the country you are going for. And lastly is the pre-departure, where you are hunting for roommates, your insurance, your flight ticketing, foreign currency, all the nitty-gritties that you need to do before you fly. The same thing, we have just expanded it further, and this is where the Collegepond fits in. In each and every of these domains that we spoke about, we are there to work with you end to end. Keep in mind that with the one major difference between MS and MBA applications is, for MBA applications, we choose the university first and then start working on the essays, because the essays vary from college to college. For master's applications, you can start working on your essays and colleges both in parallel, come up with a structure for an essay, and then customize it from college to college when your college list is finalized. So for MBA, you are better off finalizing your colleges first and then starting the process. For MS, both can happen in parallel. Okay. On the Converge app, there are a lot of upcoming events happening, just like the one that we have today. There's a GRE class coming up in few days. There's a country selection webinar. How do I choose the right country for me? And there will be also a lot of on-spot events with various universities where you can interact directly with the university officials. So in case you are interested in these events, please go ahead and attend these events. Okay. A lot of events will continue happening throughout the year. Cool. I'm done with the talking part. Here are our contact details in case you want to, get in touch with us. Feel free to, download the app and, or drop an email and we'll get in touch with you one on one. If you have any questions, your parents have any questions, we'll be more than happy to address them. Our offices in Bombay are functional. So in case you want to drop in also, that would be great. Before I open it up to question and answer, I again take this opportunity to thank you for your time on a Sunday afternoon. I hope I have been able to address a few of your doubts. If there are any more, let's go ahead with the Q&A. And in case you want to leave, I again thank you. Have a wonderful day. Every year we have thousands of people in their career dreams and journeys, and we will love to be a part in helping you achieve your career dreams. Okay, let's open it up to Q&A. I have 2.5 years of work experience in the banking space, completed CA, CS, CMA, looking for September. whether can I go for MBA or do I have less work ex? I have not given the GRE GMAT. Is there sufficient time? Now, if you crack the GMAT, see, like I said, for MBA, it's very much dependent on the GMAT score, right? So, if you get a great GMAT score, we can consider going for the September 23 intake. But ideally, you also want to apply in round one, because in round one, what do you call it? There is a higher probability of you getting in. So yes, Parag, it is possible. Get the GRE GMAT done ASAP, maybe in the next 1 month if you can. Your target time to apply in round one would be September, October deadlines. Is there enough time to crack? That is dependent on you. I can't comment on that. Depends on your work timings. There are people who work 9 to 9, there are people who work 9 to 6. Right? If you're working 9 to 9, then studying and cracking the GMAT could be a problem. It might take more time. So no, these are things that we cannot generalize. It's a personal decision. The earlier you give your exams, the more time we have to work with you on your profile building. Okay, instead of 3 years of experience, if I have a 1 year experience and a 2 years master's degree, is it accepted for a tier one? No. Keep in mind, a master's degree or a PhD degree cannot substitute for work experience when you are applying for MBA. So let's say after your bachelor's, you do a 2 years master's, you do a 5 years PhD, and then you say I've studied for 7 years. That will still not help you get into MBA because you do not have work experience. And when I talk of work experience, it is full time work experience and not internship experience. Do they see degree pointers in MBA abroad? So they may or may not depend on the university, but the focus is more on your GMAT and work experience. As long as your degree pointers are average or above average, it's fine, unless you say that hey, you are very bad, then they might have a concern. Is it possible to work for MBA MS side by side doing a job? So yes, you can. So along with your job, you need to give your GRE, GMAT exams, your TOEFL, IELTS exams. I'll give you an example. I had a student who came to me, said, I have a job Monday to Saturday and I cannot give you any time. I can only give you Sundays. Okay, so I'm going to start 1 year in advance because I can only give you 50 Sundays. Okay, and maybe some Sundays I might want some time off, so I'll compensate on a weekday or something. But since we have only 50 Sundays, I'm going to start working with you 1 year in advance. Okay, so that is how people are focused. Some of them are focused, they know their shortfalls and their limitation, and then they plan accordingly. Okay, so keep in mind that if you are a working person, yes, it is possible to work on your application, but you want to start that in parallel. Does CA count as 16th year of education? No, it does not. Would WES accept CA plus BCom? It depends. The chances are less. So I would recommend you to attend this webinar that's on your screen. Studying abroad with a 15th year degree. It's on 20th May. Please attend that. Is a year gap bad after graduation? So if you graduate and you are working or doing an internship, that is not at all bad. It's completely fine. But if you say there is a year gap because you failed in college and you have to redo the 1 year and that's a gap, then that's a problem. But if you graduated and you're exploring options, that gap year is not going to be a problem. It would be difficult to crack round one. Would I have a shot in round two? It depends on your GMAT score. Okay, you need to crack your GMAT. If you crack your GMAT score, you have a chance in round two. Does a post graduation full time paid internship count as work-ex? Yes, it can. Any other questions I can answer? MBA gives less options of specification than MS. That is true. MBA gives more salary than MS. Nit, I disagree with you. There are some MS programs which give you more money than MBA also. Okay, so it's maybe in India you can consider, again, it depends on the college you go to. To give you an analogy, in India, you do MBA from a tier 3 college, and let's say you do engineering from an IIT. The IIT engineer will make more money than an MBA. A bachelor's guy will make more money than an MBA from a tier 3 college. So it's also how much experience you have, which college you graduate from. So all those parameters are also equally important. So it's not necessary that MBA will give you more salary. How to change major subject in masters? Yes, you can. A lot of people that come to us have done their bachelor's in something else and want to do masters in something else. We have chemical engineers going for finance, mechanical engineers going for computer science, commerce student going for analytics. It's all possible. Don't worry about it. Cool. I think I've covered all the questions that have come in. One, two more questions have come in. Should I give the exam, get a good score, and then enroll with Collegepond? For MBA, yes. For MS, you can enroll in parallel. How to understand and decide the domain in which to go for your master's? So our career counselor Siddharth will work with you and help you in helping you understand the right career path for you in case you are not sure what you want to study. Apart from LORs, do we need documents to provide WorkX? Some universities for MBA might ask you for a salary slip, but other than a salary slip and an LOR, you should be fine. I'm confused as to choose MS or MBA, and should I take the GRE or GMAT? Ritik, maybe you want to talk to our career counselors and figure out what is right for you and then decide what to do. Start with GRE or GMAT. Set up a one-on-one with us. If my ultimate goal is to return to India at some point after working there, which is better? There is no right answer to it. It depends on what kind of job you want to do, how much experience you have, and what are you trying to gain out of it. Right? So this is something that needs to be brainstormed at a one-on-one level. Can I get a one-on-one counseling with us? Yes, you can just set up the one-on-one thing on the Converge app and the counselors will get in touch with you. Perfect. I think we've covered all the questions that have come in. I once again thank you guys for your time. Okay, another questions coming in. Which year of bachelor's the GRE exam should be taken? Parth, ideally, I would say if you want to do an MS, you want to get your GRE done in the second year of your bachelor's degree because the validity is 5 years. The earlier you give it, the more time we have to focus with you on profile building. If one likes both technical and managerial careers, is there any scope of a combined MS and MBA degree? You can go for integrated MS MBA programs, but they turn out to be very expensive in many cases. And again, there are not a lot of colleges having MS MBA integrated degrees. You want to check out University of Michigan Ann Arbor, University of Arizona, two at the back of my mind. Should I give GRE given that I'm not sure of MS or MBA, get a high score and then decide? You can do that, no problem. What if you get a bad score, right? I mean, so there's no right answer to it. Maybe you want to start your career counseling in parallel so there is more clarity along the way. Will the recording be uploaded? No, this recording is not going to be uploaded on Converge, but the presentation will be, and these events keep on happening repeatedly. This might go up on YouTube in the next week. So just follow us on the YouTube page or Instagram page or the Facebook page and you'll get the notifications. What is the average GMAT score for the top 10 MBA schools? Ideally, you want to be a 720 plus. 720 plus for top schools. Okay, then have a wonderful afternoon, guys. Signing off, Jimit Sangvi. Have a good day.